everyone. So my library had their annual book sale. Most books were 50 cents for paperback and $1 for hardcover. So I got quite a few books. I got quite a few books that I normally wouldn't choose, but I've always wanted to expand the types of books I read, so I thought this was perfect since they're so cheap. I won't be giving the synopsis for each book since there's a lot and that would take a long time, but I'll try to link each book below in the description so you can check them out yourself. So let's get started. Black House by Stephen King and Peter Straub. Nathaniel by John Saul. Darkly Dreaming Dexter by Jeff Lindsay. And Your Heart Belongs to Me, also by Dean Koontz. I got 3 books by the author V.C. Andrews, and they are Midnight Flight, Brooke, and Hidden Jewel. So I've read a few books by V.C. Andrews, and so I would recommend them for an older audience. They have adult themes, so I wouldn't really recommend them for younger people. I also got 3 books by Gregory Maguire, and they are Son of a Witch, which is the second book in the Wicked Year series. I got A Lion Among Men, which is the 3rd book in the Wicked Year series. And then I got Mirror Mirror. 2 books by the author Robert Galbraith, who is the pseudonym of J.K. Rowling, and they are Silkworm and Career of Evil. I have yet to read the first book, which is Cuckoo's Calling. I own it, but have yet to get around to reading it. But I couldn't pass these up since they're hardcover and they were $2. Some other random books I got were Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes. I got this one because it reminded me of my favorite musical, Next to Normal, and if you've seen Next to Normal, you'll understand. I got H.G. Wells' The First Men in the Moon. I got The Rosie Effect. I got Slam by Nick Hornby. I've read quite a few books by Nick Hornby and I liked them, so hopefully I enjoy this one too. And Sense and Sensibility and Sea Monsters. Big Fish by Daniel Wallace. I've seen the movie and enjoyed it, so hopefully I'll enjoy the book just as much. I got City of Thieves by Daniel Benioff. I love this book. I don't own it, and so when I saw this, I had to pick it up because it is a good book. I highly recommend this. I got The Tempest by William Shakespeare. I got Snow White and the Huntsman. I've seen the movie and it was okay. So I saw it had promise, and so I'm hoping the book does it justice. I got Up in the Air by Walter Kern. I got Ruins, which is part of the X-Files by Kevin J. Anderson. I like the X-Files, so I want to give this a try. I got Agatha Christie's Card on the Table. Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. And The Art of Asking by Amanda Palmer. So I like Amanda Palmer's music, and while I don't agree with everything she does and say, I do like her body positivity, and so I want to give this a try and see what else she has to say. So the next few books I will be listing, I will give synopsis for. And the first one is Revolutionary Road by Richard Yates. So this is set in the 1950s, and it's about April and Frank Wheeler, who seem to have like the perfect marriage, but not everything is how it seems, and so it just goes along with their life and their marriage and how it all crumbles. I got One True Thing by Anna Quindlen. This is about a character, Ellen, who is a successful journalist in New York City until she has to come home to take care of her dying mother. But when her mother dies, she is suspected of mercy killing. Postmortal by Drew Magri. This takes place in a pre-apocalyptic world where there is a cure for old age, but with that comes a whole bunch of problems like religious cults and government euthanasia programs. Savages by Don Wilson. It is about 2 buddies who are marijuana dealers, and the Mexican cartel wants to get involved, and from there a bunch of bad things happen. Their girlfriend is kidnapped, and it's just an action kind of book. I got The Body of Christopher Creed by Carol Plume Yusi. This is about Christopher Creed was bullied until he disappears, and so people around him want to know what happened, and they start pointing fingers at everybody, and so it just changes the lives around them. I got $1 Million Baby by FX Tool. This is a collection of stories told by manager Jerry. It's told through like men and women and their boxing arena career. I got Silver Lining Playbooks by Matthew Quick. This follows the story of Pat, who is recently released from a mental facility, and he has to move back home, where he meets Tiffany, who he finds very odd, and it's just his journey to cope with the things that got him into the mental facility in the first place. I got The Reader by Bernhard Schlink. It takes place in post-war Germany. It follows the life of a 15-year-old boy who has an affair with a woman twice his age until she kind of disappears from his life, and he doesn't see her again until he is a law student and she is on trial for murder. I also got Mildred Pierce by James M. Cain. This takes place in the 1940s. Mildred Pierce is recently divorced. She has 2 kids, and so it's just about her life of trying to claw her way out of poverty into becoming a successful businesswoman. I got Savage Grace by Natalie Robbins and Steve M. Arnson. This is a true crime novel about Barbara Backlund, who is murdered by her son Tony. This is told through prison records, interviews, and diary entries, so I really think I'll enjoy this one. I got Pilot's Wife by Anita Shareb. This is about Catherine Loynes, whose husband was just killed in a plane crash, and after his death, rumors start to come about that he is not who she thinks he is, and so this kind of leads her on a journey to find out who her husband really was. I also got The Girl Without a Name by Sandra Block. It is about a psychiatrist named Dr. Zoe Goldman. She works in a psych ward, and one day a young African-American girl is brought in who is in a catatonic state, and then when no one claims her, she tries to go and finds out what happened to her and where her family is. So the last books I got are The Luckiest Girl Alive by Jessica Knoll. This tells a story of Ani Finelli, who seems to have everything. She has a glamorous job and a rich, handsome fiance, but her past kind of starts to haunt her current life. In high school, she suffered through traumatic events that she hasn't quite dealt with yet. Matched by Ali Kandali. This is about how officials choose who you're going to love, where you're going to work, how you're going to die, and Cassie has always trusted the system until the person she thinks is the one gets paired with somebody else. So those are all the books I got in the month of June. So like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Bye!